day, everyone, and welcome to the new edition of the Global CXO Spotlight series on cxoTV. I'm your host, Kalpana Singhal, and today we are thrilled to have with us Arun Tewary, the Chief Information Officer of Alpine Group. Arun, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning from Dubai, and thank you for hosting me. It's a pleasure talking to you people this morning.
A very good morning to you, Arun. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us today on cxoTV. So let's dive right into it. And Arun, what are some of the most significant technological trends currently shaping the textiles and apparel industry?
See, in terms of the textile and garment industry sector, and I think it's common in other industry sectors also. Top of the list is say sustainable production, because there's a very high degree of awareness about the environment, about society. So sustainability or sustainable manufacturing processes, those are at the top of the list. And then comes complete end-to-end, digital transformation. So more automation, and that would obviously lead to better productivity, lower cost of production, higher quality. So automation as such has been the prime mantra, along with sustainable production. And when we talk about digital transformation, it has got a big canvas. So you talk about cloud-based application tools, you talk about digital twins, you talk about AR, VR, you talk about Internet of Things, all inclusive. So it's in fact, in my current organization, we have launched a very, very ambitious and massive digital transformation program. And I consciously call it a program, not as a project, because the program would consist of number of projects which will address different areas. Say at the core being the ERP, because you need to set up the base first in terms of the business transactions. And then on top of that, then you start building up automation layer, and it becomes a smart ERP implementation. So that's the focus right now, and gradually we'll be moving in other areas, virtual reality and augmented reality. These are subsequent stages, because organization needs to go through a maturity cycle. You can do everything together in one go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So sustainability, I know, it's a very interesting thing, and it's very important today in the business environment. So we'll be talking in detail about sustainability. First maybe we can talk more about the technologies, because you have been highlighting very interesting technologies. So in terms of when we say digital transformation, Industry 4.0 is actually transforming the manufacturing processes in the textile and apparel industry. So what benefits does it bring in terms of productivity and efficiency?
See, if you look at this particular industry sector, garment manufacturing or textile, even now, this is one segment which is very much dependent and focused on the human beings. If you visit any of the factories where the garments are being manufactured, you will see long rows of machines operated by mostly the ladies and gents. Basically, it's very, very manpower centric, and moving towards robotics or those type of automation, it will take some time when it comes to the real sewing work and that type of thing. Therefore, what is of prime importance, or whatever the organization targets, is how much or how efficiently these human, they are able to do the output, how fast, how much time is being saved. The focus is there in terms of saving the minutes. The capacity of factory is generally not stated in terms of so many million pieces or so many machines. It's stated in terms of so many available minutes. That's my capacity. So if I have got in a particular factory, say 10,000 available minutes, and if a t-shirt of this type, this design, this style, this color is going to take per t-shirt, if it's going to take 15 minutes per piece, then I can easily find out as to how much this factory can produce. It's a very interesting, industry line. Earlier, when I was with aviation, and before that with logistics and trading and steel manufacturing and all those, each has got its own speciality. But when I came here, it's almost now going to be 3 years, I started realizing it's a very precise science. All these are sort of brought in separately. Then you will stitch here, then collar, then button, and everything is very scientifically defined, along with how much time this activity would take and how much would this take. Okay. And that's how it's measured. Then you estimate, then you commit to your customer, and then internally also you need to monitor as to how my workforce is performing against these standards. And that's the place where, when we talk about things like IoT or things like automation, that plays a role. Then you are very, very sure as to what is our efficiency level, what is our performance level, and also fine-tune the process. If somewhere you realize that due to certain activities, it's taking more time for this to move from one desk or one work center to another, then you can identify, you can fix that and fine tune your process. Very interesting, interesting industry, and very well.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. So I think what I can understand is that by implementing IoT devices like AI-driven analytics and robotics, maybe we can achieve higher precision and optimize resource use. That's what I can. And then it also reminds me of when you were talking about stitching the collars and then estimating times. Also, with the innovation I somewhere read about the material science. So material science, which was all about the wearable technologies and the different kind of fabrics which are required. So that was quite interesting. If because you are an expert from this industry now, so if you can elaborate a little more about it.
yes, see, you brought up a very, very relevant point. That is yet another focus area these days, where a lot of innovation is put in place in terms of the raw material, which in our case is the textile. And the underlying thing, there are a few factors. One is, of course, your green environment, your sustainable practices, and the other thing is the reuse of the material, and that's how you will be able to achieve, sustainability or green environment. So reuse of that, and also a lot of research. In fact, as an organization, our organization has also got some patents where different type of fabric, we have a lab where we keep doing all these trials and research, and so I remember one variety which we got is in terms of its capacity to absorb heat and consumption of lesser water for the cleaning of the textile, or when it becomes a finished product. So these are the type of innovations which are taking place, and focus is on reuse, call it a sort of circular economy. You reuse and come out with a new product. You come out with the textile which has got peculiarities in terms of its capabilities of less resource consumption for cleaning and those type of things. So it's a very involved subject, and I haven't gone too deep inside that because that requires a different background and educational, especially the educational background. My focus has been more in terms of digital transformation and very judiciously sort of implementing AIs and those type of things, because I can see it's likely to create, if I may use the word, havoc in all the areas. That unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think implementation of technology also varies from company to company. The kind of requirement businesses have. So it can't be one size fit for all. So when it comes to automation, do we also have robots and the other, such machineries at Alpine? Already, we have some use cases for the, repetitive kind of tasks to improve the efficiency of the workforce?
We haven't reached the stages of deploying robots, but yes, we will be reaching there. Currently, in that segment, what we have got is a sort of cutting machine, which is fully automated. So you feed just imagine you go to a tailor, you give measurement accordingly. The first thing which the tailor does is he or she will cut different pieces so that when it's stitched together, it becomes a full-fledged garment. So we have machines which does cut given the specification and design to it, and then because we are dealing in large volumes, our customers are huge, people like Walmart and all those. So volume is very high, very high. And imagine if it's being done by the human being, it will take a lot of time and it will slow down. So that machine, you feed the specification to it and keep rolling the raw material, that's the textile, and it continues to cut. That is completely automated. Then at the end in between the process, there are things where you carry out sewing. There also it's semi-automated, but human are still there. And then when it goes to the end, when you have to do sort of sometimes you're dyeing, or sometimes this logo and those type of things have to be put. Those are again automated, and then it moves into the final stage where packaging. That's an automated thing, because you don't start doing keeping it physically and counting. So that's automated. But the middle segment, which is there in terms of sewing, that is still, although machines are quite advanced, but still the humans are there. But I can clearly see that a day would come, it's not very far off, when we would have things like robots and all those replacing this, which personally I don't feel very happy about.
Yeah.
all of us also need to have some job. If
Yeah.
you, yeah.
Absolutely. I think there has already been a lot of disruption with AI taking all the industries by storm. So, in fact, the kind of disruption AI is doing even for the developer community. You don't have to write codes now. It's just, whatever code you want, AI will help you generate those codes also. So
Yes.
there has to be some ethical use of AI and responsible use of AI, which is really important. And I think the bodies and governments are actually working on that.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
we were talking about the designs and the patterns. So, would you like to highlight any of the advanced software solutions that maybe you're using, especially also the automation of logistics? That what exactly best practices or what kind of technologies you're using in terms of managing the logistics?
See, it would be tricky on my part to name a product. Then it starts sounding like I am endorsing or recommending. So I would skip that part. But what you picked up is very relevant. See, you can be very efficient in production. You can be very cost effective. All those things. But the last leg of the journey, which takes care of making sure that this final product is delivered in time and intact without tempering to our customer, that's the critical one. And also at this end of this entire supply chain, where I have to receive the raw material so that I can start my manufacturing, that also is an important link in this entire supply chain. And both these fall under the supply chain. And mostly the raw material in this industry comes from a large percentage from China. There are a few other countries also who are the suppliers, but not as much volume. And factories could be anywhere, like ours. It's in Egypt, it's in Jordan. We also have operations in other countries. So this entire movement of the raw material and the finished good, that needs to be managed and monitored very carefully. And what is important is a complete transparency in this entire journey. You also need to pick up, because there are many parties involved in terms of your freight forwarder, in terms of the uh, the real ship owners, the companies, then your capacity planning as to what type of or what size of container we should have, and how do you calculate. The term which they use is the CBM. So depending upon your type of garment and container size, then you order for that. And mostly it's no, by sea, because if you start doing the air freight thing, then it will turn out very expensive. And now you know this the logistics on the sea, that in itself is a very very involved subject. And more so, there are certain points where it becomes like a single point of failure. So if there is a disturbance in that route, which we faced, in fact, the entire world faced recently, where ships had to be diverted through other route, and all those type of things were happening. So you should be very clear in terms of your planning that all eggs are not being put in one basket, to make sure that there's no disruption in your production or outward supply. So that's the area, and mostly in most of the organization you'll find there are dedicated departments, a team of experts who manage this, because a lot of documentation also required. entire world there would have been huge digitalization and digital transformation and all that, but there are still certain points where you land up creating a lot of documents, to feed to agency X and Y and everybody. So very huge set of documentation, and that has to be very accurate, because any discrepancy between these documents and the actual material might lead to your consignment getting delayed for further clarifications or whatever. So, and there are specialized solutions for, like we are currently doing implementing an ERP. It's almost, we are at a very advanced stage. That is part of my our digital transformation program, and along with some software automation where we are using RFID and those type of technologies to monitor how the production is moving. The example which I gave, this much time it will take to prepare one t-shirt. So through RFID chips, we will monitoring this entire movement. It will capture, and we are also going to the extent that it's being displayed there. Hey Arun, you are doing good. You have done 51 in last 20 minutes. So that will encourage me as well as inspire others also. So I'm just digressing. Somebody can do it as policing on those workers. No, we are turning it into a very positive environment. We are saying, wow, I'm doing such a great thing. Obviously, there's some cash incentive also involved. So you hire your production and you get some additional money. That's one factor. But entire thing becomes very positive. So similarly, when it comes to your supply chain and all those, you need to have a complete visibility and traceability, how things are moving, what is the estimate, where it would arrive, because accordingly you will be planning your factory's software scheduling. Because in our sector currently, the planning and forecasting is a major challenge and an area which needs to be kept focus on very heavily. And that's where you...
Supply chain management. Yeah. Yes. The supply chain management is really important. And I think technologies like big data can actually help. But the way you were telling that you are also building up an ERP system, so which is going to reflect and make sure that the material is available whenever it is required. So making sure that, yeah, sure. So you were talking about sustainability, which was I said that we'll be talking in detail. So what kind of innovations, because I'm sure the textile and apparel is a kind of an industry where you can find most of the sustainability initiatives happening. So, if you would like to highlight some advanced technologies or kind of innovations which are happening and the initiatives that you are taking at Alpine, it will be great.
We have got a big slogan on this, and we make it very loud and clear that the focus of our group at this point, and it's likely to remain for quite some time, is on adopting sustainable practices. And part of that comes lots of initiatives, like we are just setting up, it's almost ready, a new factory in Egypt, which is unique in terms of energy consumption, in terms of, and when I talk about energy, I also include water. So the entire operation as such, it's a huge factory, and there's a specific certification which is given to such factories, and in turn, of course, you get some benefits in terms of your marketing and government subsidy and those type of things. But okay, that's not the driving factor. So that's one huge initiative which we got. Second one is the focus on the raw material itself. So if we extend it further, like if we go further down, what's going to happen, and it started happening, is that majority of the customers who are the recipient of our finished goods, they have started asking us to give us a complete chain from where you got this, from where you got the raw material, which farm or which village, and so complete traceability, just to make sure that all the acceptable practices were followed in terms of your environment awareness, consciousness, and those type of things. Well, that would lead us to things like blockchain and those type of things. We didn't go inside that as of now because we have to move gradually. But eventually that will become unavoidable. So from there, coming to the real production, the raw material, and we have our own lab. So we are also coming out with a specification which we pass on to the textile mills to prepare as per that spec. And that spec has got a lot of components in terms of sustainability and all those. So that's there. Plus, we have also linked it to our corporate social responsibility. So thereby our team, it has gone to some African countries. We have also sort of distributed garments to ladies in those villages, and that also we link it to our CSR plus our sustainable practices, because such things are given and distributed by us, which would help those ladies remaining healthy and following healthy practices in terms of whatever clothing we offer. So these are some of the things I'm talking at a very high level, but there's a lot which has gone inside in terms of we getting number of patents also in our textile design, other practices in the factories and all those. In fact, it's very interesting. I can invite you people to come down, visit any of these factories. You will find it very, very interesting. And there you can see really the such practices in operation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite fascinating, and definitely, if got a chance, definitely visit the factory and would love to do that. So, then moving forward, what are your top focus business and tech priorities over the next 2 to 4 years?
See, my current program itself is a sort of, say, 3.5 years program. My focus would, I planned it this way. The first layer, let me just capture all the business transactions in a clean manner. And that's where comes your ERP. So once you finish this, then you have got the complete, data, the transaction layer ready with you. Then you start building. So the immediate next one is try to just visualize. I'm trying to give a very simple interpretation. A virtual showroom, like currently if you go to many of these online sites to order your dress, you select, you click, and you can have a 360-degree view, and then thereby you can select and order. What happens in our case also, although majority we are made to order, so we receive order from the big guys, and then accordingly, manufacturing takes place. At the same time, our design team continues to come out with 8, 10, 12, 15 designs on their own, different styles, depending upon what the market wants. They will do, the surveys in different big showrooms, mystery shoppers, and those type of things, pick up the trend, and from other sources also. And we'll come out with with designs, say, of 20 different styles. Then team would visit some of these big buyers and will try to demonstrate and all those. I want to change it from that physical visits and all those to placing this entire thing in a virtual showroom. So even if there's a garment exhibition somewhere or any other customer interested, they can go and pick up that these are the designs available, which is not purchased by anybody else. So that's the immediate next one, taking your AR, VR, everything together and coming out with virtual showroom. Other thing is a very involved process and time-consuming process in our case is taking the orders, which has got huge number of lines, and then translating that into the design. So there are tools available, very known tools specifically for textile industry, which does all these graphic design and those type of things. So that also we have plans to interface. And then the next big thing which I'm looking at is I want to create a Alpine Cloud. That's the name of our organization. And this cloud is like it would have all such entities present who are contributing to our business, be it government agencies, be it freight forwarders, be it the ship companies, be it our suppliers, be it our customers, employees, entire ecosystem there. So any one of you can come there and you will be able to pick up the transaction related to you and update there. That's my biggest vision out here, creating Alpine Cloud. And then obviously on the soft floor, as much automation as possible. The example which I gave, the RFID based movement tracking, then for the design and all those using AI, and then later on as we move forward, as you mentioned a few minutes earlier, trying to visualize the robots, at least for certain operations, like picking up the material, moving it there, conveyor belt, and those type of things. So all these things are there. I'm not sure. See, problem as a CIO, not only with me, with the entire CIO community is that technology evolution is much faster than what I'm able to execute. So I always get a feel that there is a lag, because fine, I can have a vision and we can move, but by the time I put it on paper or we get the approval and those type of things, the technology itself has acquired a different form. So that's a chase which is going on, and sometimes I feel good, sometimes I don't feel that good. It's a big race in which we all are running. I really don't know as to how far it will go, but I also feel very challenged and see it as an opportunity. And see, simple example. Recently, I had to make a presentation. I was conducting a training in India, and then I just put my thoughts like bullet points and all those, and gave it to Microsoft Copilot. It came out with such nice photos and style and everything. Wow! If I would have to do that on my own, picking up such photos and making it relevant to that topic and all those, I would have taken 3-4 days at least. And here, in 1 hour you are up. Very nice. Of course, when you are creating something like an intellectual property, it keeps reiterating. You continue to think, oh, let me add it like this, and those things are there. But the core material was ready in no time. Similarly, it applies in all other areas. Look at AI and all those. The planning, which is right now a big challenge for us, it will come out very fast. But I need to have data for that. AI will not work if there's no base data available. So that's what the journey is, and we are on, and we're feeling very happy.
Yes, sir. So, a lot of things you're planning to do in terms of getting further digital transformation journey and innovations that you're planning. And definitely, that's quite exciting. I think the more we achieve, and at the same time, I think the challenges that you have highlighted, dealing with the legacy system, which is as soon as we are able to implement the solutions, the technology is changing at a very fast pace. And it's really difficult to actually cope up with the interoperability issues and the whole idea of creating an ecosystem. The Alpine Cloud is really, really, I would say, it's very good. It's a great idea. So, thank you so much, Arun, for all the insights that you have shared. And I'm sure our CCTV audience have a lot to learn from your experiences, and it has been an enlightening conversation. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you to our audiences for joining us today. Stay tuned for more episodes of the Global CXO Spotlight series on cxoTV. Have a great day.
For more updates from cxoTV, please like and subscribe to our channel.